So earlier this week, it was revealed that Donald Trump might veto the National Defense Authorization Act for next year, unless, of course, Congress puts in a complete repeal of the Section 230 protections that social media outlets currently enjoy. See, Donald Trump is tired of people being mean to him online, and by being mean to him, I mean fact-checking him, and he wants that to end. And this idiot actually thinks that repealing Section 230 is somehow going to make the internet better. It's going to give us more freedom of speech on social media outlets. I don't follow that logic, but maybe it's because I know what Section 230 actually says. And I think people need to be aware that his push to repeal Section 230, which I had previously been a fan of until I actually sat down and started thinking about it. No, repealing Section 230 is going to lead to the most censored version of the internet you could imagine. So what is Section 230, right? This was signed into law during Bill Clinton's administration. The internet was new. People didn't want to restrict the flow of information, and so they said, listen, web hosters, you're not publishers. Okay, so if something horrendous ends up on your site, you're not liable for it because you're not the publisher, you're just hosting. So that's what it is. You know, you're not the party guest that accidentally kills somebody. You just hosted the party, man. You know, you see this, you got a little bit of liability, but okay, I can see why. But Trump thinks getting rid of that is going to make social media outlets less likely to what? If they're liable for what every single person says on their website, if they can be sued for it, if they can be jailed for it, depending on what it is, do you think they're just going to say, all right, y'all have at it. You know, we're not going to regulate anything anymore because now we're the ones who get in trouble for it? It takes a special kind of stupid to think that social media companies aren't going to go haywire with censorship if suddenly they're the ones who have to pay the price for it. The reason that it's so lackadaisical right now, even though it's not even that, is because they have no dog in the fight. They're not going to get in trouble. But if we repeal Section 230 and they can get in trouble, then good luck, because everyone's going to be shadow banned. Here's what Section 230 actually says. Protection for Good Samaritan, blocking and screening of offensive material, treatment of publisher or speaker. No provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider, which is, you know, even though social media didn't exist at the time, that's what social media says. You know, we're not the publisher or speaker. That is by another information content provider, which is the individual user. That's Section 1, but Section 2 says this: civil liability. No provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be held liable on account of any action voluntarily taken in good faith to restrict access to or availability of material that the provider or user considers to be obscene, lewd, lascivious, filthy, excessively violent, harassing, or otherwise objectionable, whether or not such material is constitutionally protected. So, you're not going to be sued if you restrict that stuff. That's what Trump thinks he's going to get away with. Like, that's what he thinks is going to benefit him. But he's forgetting the first part. And that is, you're not in trouble at all for anything that comes up there. For anything anybody posts. If anybody plans a horrific crime on your platform, you don't have to worry about going to jail. So, this would be the end of social media as we know it, which honestly may not be a bad thing, right? But censorship is, especially on this level. And Trump may think, haha, I got you now, I can sue you. Yeah, so can several million people sue Twitter for allowing your idiotic tweets to live forever. Which one do you think they're more worried about? Being sued for fact-checking you, or being sued for helping to poison our entire democratic process.